Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this broadcast of USL Soccer here in Harrison, New Jersey, as New York Red Bulls 2 at 10-8-6 host the Wilmington Hammerheads. The fourth time these two teams face off, Wilmington coming in at 3-13-7. Welcome to Red Bull Arena here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. I'm David Goss, bringing you all of this USL action. The New York Red Bulls 2, their second to last home game of the season, and it's a big one. For the fourth time this season, they face off against Wilmington, and it has been up and down between these two teams. Wilmington came here early in the year, got a 3-0 victory over New York Red Bulls 2. New York Red Bulls 2 then went down to Wilmington, got a 1-0 victory off a goal from Chris Sanas, and in the third matchup, once again at Legion Stadium in Wilmington, Wilmington got their first home win of the season on August 8th, a 4-2 victory for Wilmington, and so nothing has been predictable about the matchups between these two teams, and today it'll be the same. New York Red Bulls 2 currently in third place in the Eastern Conference, sitting on 36 points after 24 games played, tied with the Charleston Battery and Richmond Kickers, but ahead of them on the tiebreakers. Those two teams face off later tonight, and so for New York, they want to put down their stamp here, solidify their place in the playoffs, potentially pushing for a home field advantage in the first or second rounds of the playoffs. And for Wilmington, this is becoming a little bit of a rivalry. The fourth time these two teams face off. Wilmington, the affiliate of NYCFC, and so they enjoy coming into this building and trying to ruin the day for the New York Red Bulls too. Leo Stoltz leading his team out onto the field, coming off a 2-0 win against Toronto FC in their last matchup, and hoping to put up another win here today. Let's go down for the national anthems, and we'll be back with all of your first half action. Carson Porter, head coach and technical director of Wilmington Hammerheads FC, bringing his squad into Red Bull Arena for the second time this season. And let's look at their starters. Andre Rawls in goal now, his 18th start of the season. His first one in his Wilmington career was here at Red Bull Arena. Tom Parrott, Troy Cole, Fran Martinez, an NYCFC trialist who signed with Wilmington, has been a staple, and Andre Campbell along the back line. In the midfield, you have Sonny Jane, Paul Nicholson, Brian Ackley, and Stefan DeFrager. And up top, Will Heaney and the new guy, Kudos Lal. Lal coming in a trade for Asani Fairclough from Seattle Sounders 2 in the middle of the season. 6 starts now, a goal and 2 assists. Had 2 goals in his time with Seattle, and he's a young, athletic, very talented striker who will bring a different look to this Wilmington team. DeFrager, 2 goals in the last matchup, the 4-2 victory. Lal had a goal as well in that one, and New York Red Bulls 2 struggled to defend at times, but a strong back line today. So you see Coach Wolnick's team, Santiago Castaño, coming off a USL Team of the Week over the last week, Jamie Thomas, Conrad Pleva, Carl Ouimet, and Sean McLaws loaned down from the first team. Tyler Adams and Speedy Williams coming off his first career goal in the last game will hold the midfield. Leo Stoltz wearing the captain's armband, flanked by Marius Obakop and Manolo Sanchez. And up top, Stefano Bonomo had the game-winning goal against TFC, had the game-tying goal here against the Charlotte Independents. Before that, he's come into this team after bouncing around a few trials since the MLS Super Draft and has really performed and fit in well for Coach Wolnick, getting the start as he chases Chris Sonis for the leading goal scorer on the team. Marius Obakop once again with this New York Red Bulls 2 team. He and Leo Stoltz have played pretty consistently with this squad and have been some of the offensive fulcrums for this team. And Tyler Adams returning after being away with the US U17 national team out in the Czech Republic for a tournament as they prepare to head in the U17 World Cup. And we are ready to go here as we get kicked off. Stefano Bonomo playing it back. This New York Red Bulls 2 team, a lot of experience up the spine. Looks like it's going to be Jamie Thomas at left back and Sean McLaws at right back. And Adams now coming into this game with a lot of confidence. The two first-team games against Chelsea and Benfica, including his goal against Chelsea, was so well taken. He went out and played with the US U17 team, which he's been a staple with that team, alongside former New York Red Bull Academy player Matt Olasunde. And back in with this squad for the first time in a while. And one of the first times we've seen him play along Speedy Williams, who's slotted in pretty much for him since he's been gone, as Carl Ouimet is over to cover. And no foul called there. Looks like Law's still down. Our head referee today, Matthew Mercier. Assistant referees Logan Brown and Joseph Zawatowski. And our fourth official, Mark Allerton, in this one. And for Wilmington, it's an opportunity to go against a team with only 3 wins, a team they've beaten twice this season in New York. So this team plays out with a lot of confidence when they face off. The first time they faced off here at Red Bull Arena, the Wilmington Hammerheads had 6 players on loan from NYCFC, as well as a few players who are no longer with the team. Leading scorer Nick Zimmerman with 3 goals this season, former New York Red Bull player, has retired to move on into his coaching career. So he is was one of the big players the last time they faced off here. He is no longer part of the team. Christian Basagog transferred out to Denmark over the past week to Aalborg, one of the biggest teams in Denmark. And another big loss for the Wilmington Hammerheads as they look to piece things together under the first full season of Carson Porter's reign. He looks to build something for the future. Carl Ouimet, an exciting immediate future coming up. Called up for the Canadian national team's World Cup qualifying matchups against Belize next week. On Monday, he begins training in Toronto for the first leg on September 4th at BMO Field against Belize before they head down to Belize for the second leg on September 8th. Try and get themselves into the next round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Carl Ouimet played for the Canadian team in the Gold Cup. Now another opportunity to play at the highest level. Conrad Pleva over the top to the Cameroonian Marius Obakop. Clipped away in the end there by Stefan DeFrager. And out for a corner kick. Taken short. Obakop whips it in. Falls on the top to Tyler Adams, and he can't connect on his shot. Lawal now going to help his team counter. He's got some runners to the outsides. Push it wide to Sonny Jane. Jane looking to cut inside. Tough there to handle for Heaney. That one bounces past Nicholson. Stefano Bonomo now. trying to get his team back with him. Wilmington has come out hot in a lot of their games in the first minute or two, and then been forced back at times. Coming off a couple tough results, a draw against FC Montreal, and a 1-goal loss to Eastern Conference and League leaders, Rochester Rhinos, on the road, which has been a house of horrors for every team in USL. Claus there, tries to get by Campbell. Cross goes out of bounds and out for a goal kick. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats, and check out the new social media hub on USLsoccer.com. Don't forget that's your source for all of the scores and highlights here tonight as we wind down the end of this USL season. The table on both sides, both conferences are absolutely packed. The LA Galaxy 2 in the Western Conference on 42 points. Orange County Blues FC, Sacramento Republic straddle the red line in the Western Conference on 36 and 35 points with a game in hand on the LA Galaxy 2. It shows you just how tight it is in the Western Conference, and in the East all the same. Pittsburgh and Harrisburg City had been riding high almost the entire season. Now they're both behind the red line as the Charlotte Independents start to make up their games in hand. But a lot to be decided. Pittsburgh facing off against Louisville City later today. Leo Stoltz now in the box, wearing the captain's armband here, gets the cross in. Good away in front of Bonomo. Second cross comes in now, alive, flicked on. Manolo Sanchez arriving there. Looked like he was going to have an open header in the box. Jamie Thomas played a lot of right back this season for this team, playing here at left back today. The addition of McLaws. Good touch from Sanchez. Now Stoltz looking to put McLaws into space. Opportunity to cross, keeper out. Obakop can't bring it down. Bonomo battling there with Rawls, and finally cleared away in the end. Lal can't hold it up. New York applying some early pressure. Came out slow in the first half on the road last week against Toronto FC 2. Made it to the locker room at 0-0 thanks to the work of Santiago Castaño. That's why he got USL Team of the Week. A lot of big saves from him before in the second half finally taking a 2-0 win through the goals from Bonomo as well as Williams. Klaus to Stoltz. Stoltz has space, curled. Looked like no touch from Rawls, just wide of that far post. Pretty build-up once again. This New York team looking very fluid early on here. McLaws puts it on a plate for Leo Stoltz to step over and shoot through. Just couldn't get the final touch, but Leo Stoltz started the season with this team a little bit step behind, slow at times, not at his dominant form that we saw in UCLA last year, but has come on in leaps and bounds. He's really become a leader of this team now, wearing that captain's armband for this NYRB2 squad. Foul called there. Chance to push forward now for Wilmington. Nicholson and Heaney heading towards the box. Wilmington choosing to go short out wide to Parrott. DeFrager able to come away with it. Play for the first one there, puts it off. Wilmington player, and out for a New York throw-in. This one goes against New York as well, right in front of Coach John Wolenick. Another set piece opportunity. We'll see if Wilmington looks to, never mind, take it short again. Sonny Jane now coming in field. He was a terror the last few times these two teams have played. Obakop through the legs of Nicholson. Bonomo looking to launch Manolo Sanchez. Sanchez wide right, the Clemson man. Goes by Martinez, clips it into the far post, and flicked on in the end by Parrott, coming back and covering. Fran Martinez, the young Spanish center back, getting skinned out there, out wide, one-on-one versus the dangerous Manolo Sanchez. Williams here, who's been a calming presence in the midfield of this team since he's come in. After signing, him and Bonomo, the two mid-season signings, full USL players. Of course, the roster's changing up a bit here and there with Red Bull Academy loanees as well as players loaned down from the MLS squad. Martinez switching the field to Parrott. Wilmington in no rush right now. Looking comfortable in possession as New York tries to launch their trademark high press. Center backs handled it well. Now the ball back on their feet though. New York, a team that doesn't mind ceding possession in the backfield because they feel like they can force mistakes as Thomas puts the tackle in there. It's the style that Jesse Marsh runs. There's MLS squad that Coach Wolenek follows here. So at times feels the offense can be launched if the other team is in possession. And opportunities off of mistakes. Sanchez in a foot race with Campbell. Does well there to keep it off of Campbell and win possession, and then immediately throws it over the end line and out of bounds. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. It's USL on Facebook. Another way to follow this league as it gets down to the home stretch, first round of the playoffs, starting in about a month and a half. Sorry to tell you, everyone, summer is coming to a close. It's amazing to think some of these teams have already played 24 to 25 games on the season. It's been a pretty incredible season for the United Soccer League, no longer USL Pro. An ever expanding league as well. A lot of exciting things coming down the line, including a Lehigh Valley soccer team, as Tyler Adams called there for the handball. Philadelphia Union announcing they will launch a team in Lehigh Valley, so another local rival, or potentially the first local rival for the New York Red Bulls too. Harrisburg City and the Rochester Rhinos, even potentially Pittsburgh, the closest teams right now geographically. So that should be a good local matchup to come. Everyone excitedly waiting to see what the branding and team name will be there. Of course, the history of the Bethlehem Steel in that area. Leo Stoltz there with the interception. Bonomo able to beat Martinez with the first touch. Gets it across to Obakop. The shot blocked. Well done in the end by Troy Cole to stay with his man. California native doing the right thing, not giving any space to Obakop. See the movement of Bonomo there to open that play up. Leo Stoltz with the simple ball. Bonomo using the feint to beat Fran Martinez. And you can see a lot of talent, a lot of ability out of Elche in Spain. Played with the Valencia B team. Trialed with NYCFC, but still only 19. Very young center back. Cleared away there by Pleva. Conrad Pleva, one of the many college alumni on the field as college soccer season has kicked off this week. A lot of these players keeping an eye out for results from their former squads. And a lot of New York Red Bull Academy players currently playing. Derek Etienne, of course, a player who played here with this Red Bulls 2 team. He'll begin his career at University of Virginia. He had the assist on the lone goal in the 1-0 victory down in Wilmington, setting up Chris Sonis. Obakop able to keep that one in. Big switch of the field there from Speedy. McClaw's acres of space to run into. Finds the feet of Stoltz. They had Obakop outside, keeping it in now. Jamie Thomas floating up from his left back position to help out in the attack. Obakop goes by one, tried to chip that cross in. Williams now a chance to shoot. Just wide of the near post. It took a touch. Looks like off of DeFrager and out for a corner kick. We know the danger that Speedy Williams has. His ability to shoot from distance. Excuse me, that touch came off. Maybe it was Nicholson there in the end. Just off the bottom foot. This corner now taken to the far post. Wide open. Conrad Pleva puts it over the top. Best opportunity of the game for New York. Leo Stoltz there. The well-taken corner to the far post. Fell to the foot of Conrad Pleva, but he couldn't put it home. Make sure to follow New York Red Bulls 2 on Twitter and Facebook at NYRB2 and join the conversation for this match using the hashtag NYVWIL. Please get involved. Welcome also to any Wilmington fans out there watching. Of course, give us your opinions and your corrections. I believe Carolina Ale House hosting a viewing down in Wilmington for a lot of the supporters of the Hammerheads. Consistently coming out to Legion Stadium. It's been a tough season at times for this team, but it's a franchise with a great history. In the playoffs last year, 7th in the USL, before losing to Sacramento, the eventual champions 4-1. We're in the 2012 USL final, and we're second in the regular season in 2011. So a franchise with some interesting New York connections. The owner of Wilmington, a New York, New Jersey native, Capelli Sport. There's a couple of youth clubs in New Jersey, as well as a couple of indoor training facilities. And that connection's actually led to a signing for this USL squad. This is Kyle Guerreri, a New Jersey native, plays for the Cedar Sports Youth Club, owned by the Wilmington Hammerheads owner, signing an amateur contract this week to play with this Wilmington team through the rest of the season, keeping his status so he can then go on to play at Syracuse University. And currently in the 18 here today with the chance to play. Cross came in by Bonomo. Martinez able to save it. Plays it out for a long, deep throw-in. Well handled there by Martinez to save potential corner kick. McClaw's now another cross in. New York peppering these Hammerhead center backs. Crosses from both sides. DeFrager here, the Dartmouth alumni with the 2 goals in the previous matchup between these two teams. Has been an offensive outlet down the right side. Sonny Jane, with his speed and ability to dribble at defenders, can always be a threat, but has pinched in a little bit more, hasn't been as consistent of an outlet. As Jamie Thomas looks to push forward from the New York left back position, Wilmington should have opportunities to try and counter through Lal pushing out wide right and DeFrager. Well read there by Martinez. Now we met the Canadian international stepping forward. Couldn't find the feet of Bonomo. Wilmington struggling to keep possession now. Just about 20 minutes played here at Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. David Goss here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. New York Red Bulls 2 currently in third place in the Eastern Conference with 4 games to go in the season. Their second to last home game. Going to put up what would be a very important 3 points, but against an opponent who has had success against them all season. Wilmington Hammerheads won 2 of the 3 matchups so far, including one here at Red Bull Arena. You can hear Santiago Castaño yelling to his team to push high and pressure as Wilmington looks to work it through their back line. Nicholson now coming forward. Paul Nicholson there, keeping the ball. The pressure of Adams. Andre Campbell now with time and space to cross. He had options in the box. Only found Ouimet. Obakop now in open space. Leo Stoltz closed down well by Andre Campbell. And then the tackle coming in from Nicholson, the English native. Sonny Jane here, going to find the game a little bit more. Swinging all the way over to this right side, now losing possession. Adams here has space. We know he can fill that quickly. World-class sprinter speed that he has. McClaws there, going to chip, or excuse me, Sanchez trying to chip a ball in for McClaws. McClaws does well to force Wilmington to play it. Adams here looking comfortable and confident so far in this game, just 17 years old. He's a young New York Red Bull Academy player, the first ever signing for this New York Red Bull 2 franchise. Took him a while to come up from Bradenton, the U.S. residency program, get himself settled, get himself in the team. But it has really shown improvement every single game he's played, probably peaking in that performance against Chelsea. He and Sean Davis showed so well along with the rest of this squad. Franklin Castellanos, who got a goal. No call made here, and Jamie Thomas playing through. Manolo Sanchez, first chance of the game, and scores! Puts it by Andre Rawls, and Manolo Sanchez breaks this one open for New York Red Bulls 2. Jamie Thomas with the assist. You see here, it looked like Nicholson and Speedy Williams got tangled, and almost every player stopped except Jamie Thomas. Thomas continues to work through, picks this ball up, finds an easy ball out to Manolo Sanchez, and Manolo Sanchez really nothing to worry about for him. Puts it through the legs of Rawls. His 3rd goal of the season, putting himself firmly in 3rd place on the goal-scoring roster for this New York team. Sanchez down here on loan from the first team, continuing to put up numbers. Jamie Thomas picking up his 2nd assist of the season there on the goal. What I believe is the 23rd minute. We'll get you official confirmation as soon as we know. So for New York, the perfect start. Had a lot of pressure in the first 15, 20 minutes. Weren't able to create any goals. Wilmington starting to rebound over the past 5 minutes, get more and more possession. In New York, the heady play from Jamie Thomas gets themselves the goal. And don't forget the last home game of the regular season for New York Red Bulls 2 coming up next week, Saturday, September 5th at 8:30 p.m. as the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference, Louisville City FC, come to town. For tickets and more info on this match, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2. That's 1-844-22-RBNY2. And for anyone out there who might be a little bit of a soccer junkie, New York looks to clear here. The referee says play on. Manolo Sanchez, our goal scorer, trying to play Bonomo through as this game opens up a little bit. The Brazilian national team will face off against Costa Rica here at Red Bull Arena as a double-header alongside that USL matchup. Some simple names like Thiago Silva, David Luiz, and Neymar getting ready to play in that one, as well as the Costa Rica squad coming off a World Cup quarterfinal appearance with a bevy of players who play here in the United States and Canada full-time. So that should be a great matchup going into a game against the darlings of USL, you'd have to say. Louisville City FC in their first ever season set a record for attendance on Tuesday night in their friendly victory over Orlando City with over 11,000 fans. They've had a great first season, currently sitting in second place, still in touching distance, only 5 points back of the Rochester Rhinos for first place in the Eastern Conference. They've had attendances growing and growing. They've shown quality throughout their team, including the #2 goal scorer in the league in Matthew Fondi. One of 3 players in touching distance of breaking Kevin Molino's goal record. Leo Stoltz looking for a goal of his own there. Flashes that shot high. Don't forget to follow @USL on Twitter, become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. That's @USL on Twitter. So USLsoccer.com has a great graphic and story about the 3 players trying to chase Kevin Molino for that all-time USL goal-scoring record, single season, goal-scoring record. Daniel Koenig in Oklahoma City, as well as Rob Vincent in Pittsburgh. And the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, if you like goals and entertainment, this team plays 6-5 games, 5-4 games, 5-3. It's always a show, it feels like, when Vincent Kerr and Rob Vincent get the show on the road for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh facing off against Louisville later today, trying to fight their way back into the playoffs. Williams out wide right. McClaw's making the run up from fullback. He's got Bonomo. Well closed, though, by Fran Martinez. Corner kick chance now for New York. Curled into the top box. Bonomo able to win the header. Can't get it towards goal. Still alive in the box and cleared finally by Wilmington. Can Lowell do anything here? The young Nigerian able to keep possession and get it to Heaney. Heaney looks to switch the field to DeFrager. Hit too hard here on this wide, expansive Red Bull Arena field. As good a field as you'll find probably in the United States. Great opportunity for these players to play in a facility like this. Tomorrow hosting New York Red Bulls' first team against DC United. Next week, the first team is off. All Red Bull Arena hosts that international and USL doubleheader. Adams here starting to run the show, knocking the ball around, finding his teammates, bringing them into the game. Thomas pushing up. Now the center back, Pleva, looking to push up. A lot of confidence offensively for this New York team. A mistake there from Sanchez. Campbell going into space. Sonny Jane didn't recognize it. Tries to get into the feet of Heaney. Andre Campbell was off into open space if he could get the ball. A mistake there from Campbell now, and Obacop going the other way. Numbers against New York, but Obakop with the ball gets the shot and scores a wonder goal from the Cameroonian Marius Obakop. And for the second time in this first half, Andre Rawls is beaten to his far post. A defensive mistake, and Obakop immediately gets on his horse, puts the defenders on their heels, gets a little bit of space onto his left foot, and buries that one to the far post for his team-leading 5th goal of the season. He ties Chris Sonis for the New York Red Bulls 2 lead. That one will go down as unassisted. Marius Obakop continuing to put on a show this season in USL. 5 goals and 2 assists. Even when he hasn't put up numbers, he's been an offensive nucleus for this New York team, whether it's at left midfield or that attacking midfield role that Leo Stoltz is occupying today. Wilmington now, they need a response. Just under 30 minutes played here in the first half. Wilmington Hammerheads trailing 2-0 to New York Red Bulls 2. Some bodies, some substitutes getting ready for Coach Porter down on the sideline. Heaney looking to spray it wide. Ball out there. Finally gets the cross in. Pleva the only one there. Jane fighting to keep this one, and he does. Martinez switching the ball. And that's exactly what I said Coach Wolenek is looking for, that Marius Obakop goal. Allow the other team to pass it around the back. Put on some high pressure, and any mistake you get immediately becomes a dangerous opportunity for your team, even if you don't have the ball, and Obakop picks up that turnover and turns and goes the other way. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. That's at Nike Soccer on Twitter or Nike.com/soccer. New York Red Bulls 2 growing in confidence as a squad. It's a strong team here. A few loans from the first team, but it's the USL players, full-time players that are making all the difference. Sean McClaws now. Tackle from behind from Sonny Jane is clean. Well done from the winger there, and now the chance for Wilmington to counter. Straight to the feet of Coach Wolenek. Lets it through. Wolenek, of course, a former USL/A-League player in his time. The Rochester Rhinos in 2001. Before having a lengthy career in MLS. Chicago Fire, Columbus Crew, and of course, the New York Red Bulls. Staten Island native. Coach Wolenek in his first season. We've seen how tough it can be for these MLS 2 teams. Shows all the better how this New York Red Bulls 2 squad has been able to perform. A lot of young players have come into the team. Solo Borges earlier in the year. Juan Sebastian Sanchez got a couple starts for this team. Henry Martin, a young center back, has played heavy minutes for this New York Red Bulls 2 team alongside Derek Etienne and Tyler Adams. A big changeover in roster week to week. Last week you had Sean Davis starting in midfield. This week you get Tyler Adams back, Sean McClaws and Carl Ouimet, and yet Coach Wolenek's been able to put out a consistent product week to week. This team currently sitting in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference, and when you look in the East, you also have FC Montreal and Toronto FC 2, and they are sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Just goes to show what this New York team's been able to do so far, but they're hoping a lot more to prove this season. A potential playoff run. Trying to solidify it here today with what would be a massive home victory. Stoltz able to get it wide. Manolo Sanchez looking to curl it in to the far post. Pass rolls. Marius Obakop didn't read the play and get there. The goal scorer put a thumb up to say good cross to Sanchez, but didn't make the run. Williams here with space. Half thought he would shoot. Stolz now. Good idea to spray it wide to McClaws, but too far for him. And out of bounds into that corner. One of the corners covered in shade. The fans retreating to that shade to enjoy the comfort here. For what it's been this summer, not an uncomfortable day here in New Jersey. But the heat you can definitely feel, especially in the sun. Nicholson able to get it under control. Hackley here finally gets on the ball and loses it. Obakop now waiting for his team to bring up the rear. Wilmington preparing substitutions now. Already trailing 2-0, trying to turn this one around. It looks like Corbin Bone preparing to come in. As this cross comes in, Bonomo losing out to Martinez. Sonny Jane now able to win it back. It looks like Zeb Talib as well is going to check in here. And we're hearing it's in place of Troy Cole and Will Heaney. As Coach Porter tries to punch up his attack, get his team back in the game. Castano out quickly there, able to take that one in front of DeFrager. Quickly throws it out. Manolo Sanchez, a lot of space there. He liked the idea of trying to connect with his fullback and trying to give him the reward for making the run as the substitution comes. Sanchez maybe not recognizing the amount of time and space he has. So it looks like the former Philadelphia Union man Corbin Bone will come in. As does Talib. Talib, a New York native, coming back here to play. It's the New York Red Bulls. In this game, of course, along with every other regular season and playoff USL game, is live free and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Great way to keep up with this playoff race, as well as watch as this season comes to a close, and then what will be one of the, if not the most exciting playoff runs in USL history. This revamped league with so many new exciting teams. It's a lot of young and experienced talent. Corbin Bone trying to make a difference off the bench here. It looks like Talib's going into the center midfield, and Nicholson will slot in for Troy Cole at center back in this one. So a short day here for Heaney and Cole. We'll see formationally if anything else changes. Corbin Bone maybe giving Coach Porter more of a goal-scoring threat than Heaney does up top. Bone 1 assist so far this season, and now his 17th appearance. Nicholson there flicking that one back to Rawls. Andre Rawls has had a very good season. Wilmington, one of the best defensive teams in the league. Second to last in goals given up per game. Rawls in his 17 starts had only given up 24 goals coming into this one, but 2 early on in the first half. Nothing he could do about either of them, though I'm sure he will go back and look and be frustrated. Bone here has been active since he's come off the bench. Turnover. Corbin Bone, one of the many Wake Forest players, Wake Forest background players on this team. Carson Porter, of course, coming from there under Jay Vidovich. Current Portland Timbers 2 coach. As Conrad Pleva puts that one out for the first corner kick of the game for Wilmington. Talib over to take. I mentioned a New York City native. Opportunity to come play at home. Taken here to the far post. Martinez wins the header. She's it wide. Sonny Jane now out. One-on-one with Williams. Can he get by Speedy? Gets the cross in. McLaws keeps it alive in the box. Adams the first one to it. Obacop there, a step quicker than Martinez. Now in open space, he's got Martinez and Campbell to try and beat out. He looks to switch the field to Bonomo. Bonomo making the full field run, able to get on top of it. Talib closes. Good recovery from Wilmington. New York looks to keep the pressure on, trying to make it 3-0 before the half. McLaws there. This cross going right into the arms of Rawls. Just a few minutes left to play here in the first half. In the 4th matchup of the season and the last between these two clubs in New York Red Bulls' first season in their franchise's history. Manolo Sanchez with the first goal off a heady play by Jamie Thomas. Marius Obacop with a sparkling second goal off the mistake from the Wilmington Hammerheads. Another turnover here. Can New York capitalize again? Adams able to keep his feet, but the foul eventually called there against Talib. Pleva takes it short. These two teams right next to each other in many statistical categories in the standings. But the big difference has been goals scored. Wilmington has struggled to score goals throughout the season. New York has had no such problem. New York now with 41 goals scored on the season. Wilmington Hammerheads still only 17 goals conceded. Pretty similar between the two coming into this one. Lall there, the best chance so far the first half. Offsides after that, but the good opportunity at the start. Ackley called offsides. Once again, the last regular season home game of the year for New York Red Bulls 2. Next week, September 5th, 8:30 p.m. here at Red Bull Arena for the first time against Louisville City FC. For tickets and more info on this match, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2. That's 1-844-22-RBNY2. Leo Stoltz able to keep it alive. Gets the cross in. Obakop there. Gets ahead to it. Can't direct it on goal. To Frager now. Can Wilmington create something here in the dying minutes of the first half? Cut this lead in half. They'd have to think pretty good going to the locker room if they were down 2-1. Of course, as you always have to say in situations like this, it might be devastating the other way around, down 3-0. So we get confirmation, a minimum of 1 minute of stoppage time added here. Warles, St. Mary College alumni, California native. Enjoying a good first season. Wilmington FC, his first year out of college. Although won't have fond memories here as he did from his first game. Got signed and immediately went straight into the starting lineup in the first matchup between these two teams, getting that 3-0 victory. Ouimet hasn't had much work to do. Coach Porter will have to find a way to put this New York Red Bulls 2 defense under more pressure. Coming up in the second half, he's already made 2 of his 5 potential substitutions. Sanchez trying to find McLaws. Asking for a handball, none made. Andre Campbell now. It'll be the end of the first half as we've played that 1 minute of minimum stoppage time. A fantastic first half for New York Red Bulls 2. 2 goals, Manolo Sanchez with the opener, Marius Obakop with his 5th goal of the season to give this team a 2-0 lead. We'll be back with first half highlights as well as second half action here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. back here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. David Goss with your first half highlights coming up as New York Red Bulls 2 lead the Wilmington Hammerheads 2-0. And let's look at how they got it done. A strong first half for Coach Wolinek's boys, and he has to be happy with the offensive production. Speedy Williams, he's been a sniper all season from the top of the box. That ability to shoot, earns a corner kick there. And a few minutes later, he gets wrapped up here with Nicholson. No one reacts. Jamie Thomas, the smart play to pick it up, gets it wide to Manolo Sanchez. Out on that far right side, and Manolo Sanchez gets his third goal of the USL season. Gets his team started with a good 1-0 lead. And then a Wilmington Hammerheads mistake turned right over to Marius Obakop, and Marius Obakop pushes this ball to his left foot, beats Andre Rawls to the far post, and brings himself into a tie for the team lead with goals on the season. His fifth, that one unassisted. Jamie Thomas picking up his second assist on the first goal from Manolo Sanchez. And we are ready to get this second half started here. New York Red Bulls 2. One substitution at halftime. Bolo Akinyode checking in for Tyler Adams at center midfield. Akinyode started the last game at left back. Got an assist on Bonomo's goal. An opportunity to play here in the holding midfield role, where he played in college at Seton Hall alongside Conrad Pleva. Wilmington made two substitutions in the first half, and it looks like a substitution here at halftime as well. Looks like Aaron Wheeler checking in up top in place of the young striker, Qudus Lal. Lal doesn't get a chance to score in back-to-back games against New York. Aaron Wheeler, a name very familiar to New York Red Bulls fans after his time at the Philadelphia Union. His first season with Wilmington this year. It's now his sixth appearance. No goals and no assists for him. A man out of Towson who's had an interesting career, played both center back as well as center forward for Philadelphia. Corbin Bone and Zev Talblib also first half substitutes for Coach Porter. He's made 3 of his 5 possible substitutions. Paul Nicholson here, who slotted into center back in place Troy Cole. Santiago Castaño, a quiet first half. New York outshot the Wilmington Hammerheads a staggering 9-0 in that first half. So trying to generate some attack here in the second half. Aaron Wheeler hoping to help out there. Brings good size to that center forward position. Standing at 6'4". Parrott here getting up the line. Wilmington didn't have many opportunities to knock it around in the offensive half in the first half. Had some sustained spells of possession in their own half. Of course, one of them leading to the mistake that Marius Obakop was able to score on. Don't forget to visit uslsoccer.com, get the latest news, live stats, and check out the new social media hub, uslsoccer.com. This one getting everything started for the night. Montreal will host Harrisburg City at 7. Charleston versus Richmond, that old-time A-League USL Pro, USL rivalry coming out of the South as those two teams sit next to each other in 4th and 5th place as Manolo Sanchez takes that shot wide. Mentioned it earlier, Pittsburgh Riverhounds travel to Louisville as Rob Vincent and Matthew Fondy battle for the Golden Boot. And then the West gets started. A couple big games tonight. Austin Aztecs are in play. Portland Timbers, too, facing off against Orange County Blues. Currently sitting in the last playoff spot in the West. And LA Galaxy 2 face off against Arizona United. Aaron Dennis, who trialed with this New York Red Bulls 2 team, currently playing now for Arizona United, has been showing very well for them. The goal in just his second appearance. Sonny Jane going to ground there just on top of the New York 8 defensive 18. No foul called. Obacop here showing a lot of confidence after his goal. McClaws now with space down the right side. He's got 3 options in the box. Tries to curl it to the far post. No one makes that run. Now Obacop closing. Jamie Thomas steps up and it goes out off DeFrager. Mistake there from Thomas. Jane able to force the turnover. Corbin Bones' touch takes him wide. Sunsets setting here in Harrison, New Jersey. As the temperature begins to drop a little bit. It was a hectic first 25 minutes between these two before Manolo Sanchez got the goal in the 22nd minute. The official scoring. Marius Obacop in the 29th minute. His unassisted goal. Those two are the difference so far. Chris Sonis has his penny off, and it looks like he's getting ready to come in. We'll see if it's a like-for-like switch with Bonomo. We've seen Bonomo play on either of the wide forward positions, so this could be for Obacop, or more likely Manolo Sanchez. They've been trying to keep him fresh this time with both the first team as well as the USL squad. Substitution as well, preparing for Wilmington. It looks like it's going to be another attacking sub for them. Justin Moose getting ready to come on. Another one of those Wake Forest legacy players. Could have just said alumni, but of course I complicated things. Ackley looking to push the play along. Out of bounds there from Tablib. Now we get the substitution. Justin Moose coming in for right back here, Tom Parrott. So another attacking move from Coach Porter. Stefan DeFreiger preparing, it looks like, to push himself back to fullback. So now 2 starting midfielders on the back line for Wilmington. It's Justin Moose, the number 10. Checks in, he's got 2 goals on the season. Former 2-time All-American at Wake Forest. 7th pick of the 2006 Super Draft by New York Red Bull rival DC United. He's had a long career around the world. Won a USL title with the Vancouver Whitecaps before heading overseas, playing in Thailand, as well as in Scandinavia for a few years. Returning home, Akinyode able to keep possession, battling still now. Akinyode battling through 2 tackles there. Jamie Thomas now taking his open space, pushing it wide. Obakop has space to cross. Fran Martinez able to line it up and clear it. Speedy Williams there with a dangerous play on that high kick. Obakop had options, had the chance to pick his head up and pick out a teammate. Coming down that left wing. It's Chris Sonis now. Walks to the midfield line. And a foul called, this time against Ackley. Head referee Matthew Mercier has had a fairly active second half already. Nicholson wins that one before Bonomo. Tablib now. Played some of his youth soccer in the New York Cosmos Academy. The powerhouse professional soccer teams in the area. Wheeler now with the cross. Handled calmly there from Carl. We met in the middle of the box with Justin Moose closing in. Didn't panic. Took that one touch by him rather than clear it. Leo Stoltz gets bonus points for the Meg on the head referee there. Stoltz now moving into space. Lays it in for Obakop. Obakop's offsides. And those are the ones coaches get really frustrated with when you're standing on the end of the line and you have the opportunity to look down and see the entire defensive line matched up. Don't forget to become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. That's USL on Facebook. So we have our substitution. It is Chris Sonis in place of Manolo Sanchez. So Manolo Sanchez leaves this one with his 3rd goal. The difference in the game so far, he walks away with the game winner. His 3rd goal of the season. Manolo Sanchez in his 1st year in professional soccer. Philadelphia native out of Clemson University. He's played a large part of the season here with New York Red Bulls too, but has gotten some good opportunities with the first team. Hit the post numerous times here with Red Bulls too, as well as against NYCFC at Yankee Stadium. And now we'll see how Sonis and Bonomo line up. We met here with pressure on him, able to clear. Only to midfield. Sonis flicks it on. Bonomo here coming out to defend. Could be a positional slide as Akinyode almost beats Castano on that pass. Gets it back. Leo Stoltz looking so composed. To find his teammates' feet almost every pass so far. Akinyode forces that turnover. Sonis can't clean it up, and Nicholson is the first one to it. Paul Nicholson, the steady center midfielder, playing at center back. His 4th year with the Wilmington Hammerheads. This is his 23rd start of the season. To Frager with that free kick. Moose looks to keep it in, and he does. Good touch there from Justin Moose. Now the shot comes. Castano with the save. Santiago Castano with his first save of the game. The best look offensively for Wilmington. Justin Moose does so well to keep his feet and win that ball. Brian Ackley was pushed farther forward here in the second half. Turns on it, hits a good shot, but Castano equal to it. Does a good job not punching it across his own goal. Getting it wide of the frame. Now a corner kick coming for Wilmington. Can they get the important opening goal and cut this lead in half? Put New York under some pressure here in the second half. Big switch there from Nicholson. On a dime to Moose. Or excuse me, Bone. Now Moose with the ball flicked in. Wheeler able to get a head to it. And that's why he's in there. Double team there, surrounded by New York Red Bull 2 defenders. His height still able to get a touch to it. Sanas there with the flick on. Mistake there from Campbell. Deflected off Sanas. Bonomo in on goal. Cuts back now, looking for Sanas' feet. Gets it to Sanas. Sanas gets space. Shot blocked. Still alive now for New York. Chris Sanas wide to McLaws, and McLaws called offsides. Good attacking play there from Stefano Bonomo. Off that turnover. Realizes Andre Campbell has the speed, cuts back, finds his teammates' feet, and just can't get the finish. Make sure to follow the New York Red Bulls 2 on Twitter and Facebook at NYRB2. Join the conversation for this match on social media using the hashtag NYVWIL. Akinyode there makes the tackle. New York not happy with it at all as Akinyode goes down. Corbin Bone going to ground, catching Akinyode. It looks like on the left leg. The New York bench not happy with it. As well as the New York players. Carl Ouimet leading the charge, expressing their dissatisfaction with Bone. Matthew Mercier here, trying to deal with it. We haven't seen a card given so far in this game. I haven't actually seen one presented here, although it does look like he's writing. So the yellow card will be shown here in the 62nd minute, the first of the game. Corbin Bone receiving the first of the game. As a reminder, as we get later in the season accumulation, yellow cards can lead in suspensions. Corbin Bone in no danger of that. Daniel Bedoya starting the game on the bench for New York as is Brian Ackley. New York getting ready to bring in New York Red Bull Academy player Brian Saramago for the first time in this game. A young 16-year-old. He's played a few times with this New York Red Bull 2 squad. Got the start against the Charlotte Independents. Now we'll get about half an hour off the bench to try and get his first professional goal. Obakop has space. He's got Williams down the right. Speedy Williams looking to shoot and wide of that far post. Speedy Williams is an absolute sniper. He's like an NBA player that crosses midcourt and is ready to shoot from that moment on. Obakop finds him down the right side, and immediately from outside the 18, he just wants to ready his feet and get rid of it. Saw him hit the crossbar against Chelsea. He had a long shot that found the back of the net, but he did not get credit for. As Juan Sebastian Sanchez got credit for the goal, it went off his back. Fran Martinez dribbling by a few New York attackers there and lays it down the right side to DeFrager. He's got options in the box. Over the head of Wheeler. Castano able to knock it down and take it. Dangerous there from him. But Ackley wasn't able to close quick enough. You see Coach Porter's moves, bringing in more attacking players, putting a few midfielders on his back line. Gives you the opportunity to get a player like DeFrager up into the attack from that fullback position. Tablib closing there on Williams, the turnover. And Wilmington create that goal-scoring opportunity. Moose able to get it to Corbin Bone's feet. Bone can't get the shot away. Jamie Thomas stepping in. Deflected off the foot of Bone and out for a New York goal kick. So Wilmington showing a little more pressure high, able to force a turnover, not generate a goal-scoring chance there. So now both our goal scorers so far in this game sit next to each other on the bench as Marius Obakop leaves this one. His 5th goal of the season, unassisted, to go along with 2 assists on the season to lead this team in scoring. And he comes out for a young and bright player, Brian Saramago. Checking in here for his 3rd appearance. He, along with Mason Deeds, part of the same youth team, have gotten opportunities this season with this New York Red Bulls 2 team. One of the many different uses for this squad for New York. And you can say Ali Curtis's project so far has been a success. Young players getting chances to both play professionally and play in the system. First team MLS players have had chances to get minutes or rehab here. Roy Miller and Ronald Zubar. Connor Lade stayed fresh until he took over the starting right back spot after Chris Duval's injury. He'll most likely be there for the rest. New York Red Bulls MLS season. Anatola Bong got his start here, scoring a couple goals against Toronto FC 2 and Charleston Battery before heading to the first team. He was starting center forward for a few weeks. So a lot of different stories that you're already getting out of this squad of different players. You have the young homegrown goalkeeper in Castano, who was able to be a full-time starter, as well as continue to play behind Luis Robles at the MLS level and learn. A player like Chris Sonis, who's bounced around professionally around the world in USL. They're leaving Southern New Hampshire University and has a chance to settle in here and prove himself. To Jesse Marsh and Ali Curtis. A lot of different uses for this team. Young players gaining experience before heading off to college. Hopefully back to the pros like Sean Davis did. So now Saramago here. Sonny Jane on the ball. Intercepted by Ouimet. Bonomo an inch away with that slide. Saramago going in like for Obakop on that far left wing. Bonomo slid out wide right. Claws into Tsanis' feet. Stoltz here coming forward, battling with Fran Martinez. He's able to get away from the 2 defenders, trying to get an opening to win a cross or a corner. Does well to keep the ball. Speedy Williams now curls it into no one, but the knockdown to Jamie Thomas. Akinyode with the left-footed shot, and that one goes high and wide. New York Red Bulls 2 upcoming home match is Saturday, September 5th as Louisville City FC comes to town for the final match of the regular season. For tickets and more information on this match, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com or call 1-844-22-RBNY2, 1-844-22-RBNY2. At 8:30 p.m. game, as I said earlier, a doubleheader, the Brazil-Costa Rica International Friendly. Leo Stoltz floats this one in. Sonis is open, hits it on the clean volley, gets his laces through it, and just can't get it on frame. It's the type of opportunity a striker dreams about. Not the simplest of angles. Drops in. Maybe he sees it a little bit late over the head of Andre Campbell, but right out of the air, able to hit it cleanly and could not get it under the crossbar. Substitution coming here for Wilmington. Sonny Jane coming in. You hear the crowd and the noise here for this one as Kyle Guerreri makes his professional soccer debut in his native New Jersey. Signing this week on an amateur contract with the Wilmington Hammerheads. Just 17 years old, youth Cedar Sport soccer player. Kyle Guerreri. Wilmington talked about in the release, Coach Porter, commitment to youth, commitment to development of young players. Guerreri, an example of that. A special chance for him to get his start in his home state. Wheeler gets taken down by We Met. Takes it quickly. Excuse me, the call goes the other way. Goes against Wilmington in favor of New York. Just about 20 minutes left to play here in the second half. Red Bull Arena, New York Red Bulls 2. Leading the Wilmington Hammerheads 2-0 here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. Aaron Wheeler, Corbin Bone trying to cut that lead in half. Brian Ackley forced Castano into a tough save here in the second half. The best chance of the game for Wilmington. They look to put up their fourth victory of the season and third against New York. It's just shown how up and down and crazy this USL season has been in the inaugural run for New York Red Bulls 2. Akinyode able to win the tackle in the end there. To Frager. A nice run going. Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversation, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. That's at USL on Twitter. One comes in, headed away by McClaws. Acrobatic touch there from Akinyode. Sonis now leading the line. They're subbing in for Manolo Sanchez. McClaws gets pushed over. And for the first time ever, he's on the score sheet. Guerreri with the foul. His custom fan section here, not happy with that one, of course. Akinyode, a long touch, knocked away by Moose. Santiago Castano, the homegrown Queens native, Colombian and U.S. Youth International. Still trying to figure out his future there. A bright one indeed for a very young goalkeeper. Off USL Team of the Week. He's had a quiet day so far, but it might be getting a little bit more of a workload here in the last 20 minutes of this one. Red Bulls 2 trying to close out a victory in their second to last home game of the regular season. Cross comes in. Knocked away. Moose and Nicholson trying to keep the play alive. Nicholson here. Talblib tries to play it into the feet up top of Ackley. New York's had a couple looks to try and get that third, which you have to think would be good enough for the final goal here in the second half. Sonis has had a couple looks. As it's Speedy Williams. New York still haven't been able to. Akinyode there does well to keep possession. Bonomo gets it into Williams. Williams does a good job switching the point of attack. Speedy Williams now covering some ground, sideline to help this attack. Tyler Adams did a lot of that in the first half before checking out, the young 17-year-old, with a strong 45 minutes here as he gets acclimated again to USL action. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. It's at Nike Soccer on Twitter and Nike.com/soccer. Akinyode and Stoltz licking up there. Carl Ouimet, his last opportunity to put on a New York Red Bulls jersey for a little while. So he will leave tomorrow, missing out on the MLS squad's game against DC United to head off to Canada for the next week before the first team has a bye, and we'll see if he'll another opportunity to play with New York Red Bulls 2 as they travel back to his hometown. Next week they play Louisville City in their last home game, and then New York Red Bulls 2 head on the road for the last two of the season, the first at FC Montreal. Those two teams have played a couple tough matches. Ouimet, of course, was the first ever homegrown signing in Montreal Impact history. And then they close off the season at Salin Stadium against the Rochester Rhinos. And if you're New York, you have to put yourself in a position where that is not a must-win game. Rochester Rhinos have been almost untouchable this season, especially at home. You don't want a situation where you have to go in there and push for goals. This deflection off Saramago goes just wide of the goal. What an interesting way that would be to get your first career professional goal. For Wilmington, they head home after this one to host the Charlotte Independence. They then travel to the Charlotte Independence and a home and away over the course of 3 days between September 3rd and September 5th, and then close out the last 2 weeks of the season at home against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Toronto FC2. Ackley pushes this one wide to Andre Campbell. Campbell's cross comes in, flicked on at the near post by a New York defender, and Wilmington Hammer has a chance to play kingmaker here. Charlotte, games in hand that they're making up with those two tight matchups as they push up the table, currently sitting in 6th place, have the potential to be even higher. Curled in there on the far post and put just wide. A good look there for Wilmington as Andre Campbell floated that one in. Guerrieri looking for his first professional goal. Did well to rise up and pound it into the ground. but just wide of that far post. Sanas wins that battle with Martinez. Fran Martinez, though, is back and gets it. Ouimet's touch. Pushes it out of bounds. Throw in now for Wilmington. Sanas trying to leave it back for Bonomo. Misreads his run. Now Justin Moose will drop deep and find some space. DeFrager trying to float this one in. Castano goes up and able to win it over Ackley. Throws it out to an open Bonomo. Bonomo going direct at Sanas. Necessary interception or just flicked there from Martinez. Otherwise, Sanas was one-on-one with Nicholson. The Wilmington backline is absolutely settled down after that opening 30-minute flurry. New York dominated possession, linked up well in the final third. Saw both fullbacks getting forward. Tyler Adams helping alongside Leo Stoltz to run the attack. And a trip up there and no call made. Looks like potentially a foul in the box. But our head official, Matthew Mercier, not impressed. He hasn't had much work to do in this game. There was the little bit of confusion between pretty much everyone as Nicholson and Speedy Williams got entangled with each other, which led to the turnover that Jamie Thomas picked up on the first goal to Manolo Sanchez. Of course, this USL regular season game, as well as all playoff games, are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Connect with the USL YouTube channel today. As we approach 7 o'clock, and the full slate of games of USL gets ready to kick off. Montreal and Harrisburg, Charleston and Richmond, the 7 o'clock games. Pittsburgh and Louisville at 7:30, and Austin Aztecs against the Oklahoma City Energy and current Golden Boot leader Daniel Koenig. Kicks off at 8 p.m. It's going to be a special last few weeks. Real Monarchs got a good victory against a big crowd at Rio Tinto Stadium last night. And Seattle Sounders too. Sacramento Republic FC, last year's champions, currently sitting 1 point out of the Western Conference playoffs. So a lot left to be figured out. Not a lot of games to do it. And that means some playoff atmospheres across USL over these last few weeks. And then the actual playoffs begin October 16th and 17th. The first round between the 3 and 6 seeds and the 4 and 5 seeds. Of course, hosted at the higher seed with a 1-game playoffs to open up the playoffs. Then the 1 and 2 seeds in both conferences will host the winners of those to go to the conference finals. Eventually, the league championship, a 1-game final. The highest seed left last year at Bonnie Field, of course, over 10,000 in attendance as Sacramento Republic FC knocked off the Harrisburg City Islanders to win the championship in their inaugural season. John McClaus, no rush to take this one. Gets it up to Bonomo, Stefano Bonomo. Another successful game for him. As he improves steadily with each performance for this New York Red Bull 2 team. Bonomo there finds the feet of Stoltz. Williams gets it wide to Akinyode. New York starting to play a lot of confidence offensively this season. Early on, goals were a struggle. The opening game against the Rochester Rhinos, they weren't able to get a goal in their U.S. Open Cup matchup against PDL opposition in Newark, New Jersey against the Jersey Express. This team has grown in confidence as well as in chemistry as the season has worn on. We have to say, peaking at the right time, John Wolinek's boys, as they get ready to head to the playoffs. Had some timely goals this year as well, and no one has set up more of them than this man, Daniel Bedoya, team leading 4 assists, coming in as a late substitution here for Stefano Bonomo. Bonomo now another strong appearance for him in his 3rd start, his 6th appearance. He leaves with the 2 goals and 1 assist still on the season. A good showing. Martinez with the slide tackle there. Andre Campbell puts it off Fatsanis and out for a throw-in. Not much time left. Bedoya set up Franklin Castellanos in stoppage time to get a winner at home against St. Louis FC. One of the few stoppage time winners for this New York team. Anthony Wallace scored what looks like it's going to be a big goal in a winner at home against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, also in stoppage time. There have been a lot of big moments for this team. They went on a 6-game road trip that they were able to put together an undefeated streak, including a win at the number 2 team in the East, Louisville City, as well as at St. Louis FC in their first ever trip there. Saramago loses possession. Clips Justin Moose, trying to get it back. Top lead. Going to push them forward. So it looks like New York is going to be able to hang on here. Move up the standings. We'll go to 11-8-6. 39 points on 25 games played. So guaranteeing, unless an outrageous score comes across, that they'll stay in 3rd place at the end of the day. As Richmond and Charleston face off against each other. Right behind them, Louisville City on 45 points still. Within touching distance, but it's going to be a tough one. If they were to beat them, if Louisville were to drop points tonight against Pittsburgh, come here to Red Bull Arena next week, New York was able to knock them off, they'd be able to get within the 2 games necessary. 2 games left to play. Of course, Louisville City has 1 game in hand. New York needs a little bit of help from some other teams, but the potential's still there. Of course, something to play for. For Wilmington, we said a home-and-home series coming up with the Charlotte Independents. It's going to be a lot of traveling for them, heading back down to Wilmington for a Thursday night game, and then a quick turnaround as Daniel Bedoya loses his right boot. Mercier kindly returns it, but it looked like Aaron Wheeler may have knocked it out of his hand. Mercier not happy with that. And a yellow card issued now to Aaron Wheeler. Wheeler losing his temper a little bit here. On the verge of a loss coming. He knocked Bedoya's cleat out of the referee's hand as the referee walked over to give it to Bedoya. And I have to say, he's probably fortunate. It's just a yellow card. We saw what happens if you touch the referee's stuff from our fearless leader and former U.S. national team captain Clint Dempsey earlier this year in U.S. Open Cup play. That, of course, not nearly as bad as what Dempsey did. Ackley. Back to Nicholson. Nicholson started this game in central midfield, moved back to center back in the first half when New York stretched the lead to 2-0. DeFrager with the cross coming in. Doesn't drop for Corbin Bone, just a foot too far. Bedoya now down the line to Tsanis. We get official confirmation on that yellow card. And for Wilmington, no shots in the first half. They gave up 2 goals. Gave up a couple other good opportunities. They've been able to hold defensively. Stymie the New York attack. We enter stoppage time here. Our 4th official to give us confirmation. A minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played. A lot of smiles on the bench for New York Red Bulls too. Manolo Sanchez and Marius Obakop have been staples for this team all season. Attacking duo down the wings. Both of them get a goal here in this one. Marius Obakop tied now for the team lead in goals. Chris Tsanis has had a couple of opportunities to take that lead back here. Santiago Castaño coming up for USL Team of the Week performance. And you have to say, it's one of those tough games for a goalkeeper. Didn't have much, if anything, to do in the first half with no saves, no shots, and came up with a big save in the second half when called on. The shot from Brian Ackley. Took it cleanly. Kept his team in position for the shutout. McClaws does a good job to read that one, but can't keep it in bounds. Just over a minute into stoppage time here. New York now has only lost once when scoring 2 goals this season. That was on the road at Wilmington in their last matchup. These 2 teams will finish the season at 2-2 in the series. And for a New York team coming into their first season in USL, you got to think a little bit of a rivalry brewing here. 4 matchups. New York, especially the last one they dropped at Wilmington at a time when they felt like they were turning a corner. Starting to rack up victories. Frustrating one for them. For Wilmington, the association with NYCFC, as well as now the taste of victory against New York Red Bulls 2 twice this season. An opportunity for this matchup to grow as their USL history runs along. Good long ball there from Tablib. DeFrager with the crossing. Conrad Pleva once again strong. Carl Ouimet and Conrad Pleva have been able to push away almost every single attack from the gates. Santiago Castaño. Tablib here. The New York native got almost an hour's worth of action here close to home as we approach that 3 minutes of stoppage time. And there is the call. So the 4th time these 2 teams match up, once again a winner is named. They've now split the season series 2-2. Both teams winning a game on the road and both teams taking one at home. New York Red Bulls 2, a big victory for them. They moved to 11-8-6 on the season and 39 points, and let's see how they got it done. This is the first goal, the tie-up between Nicholson and Speedy Williams. Jamie Thomas staying alert, picks it up, plays it in to the path of Manolo Sanchez, who takes a clean first touch and able to get the strikeaway before Fran Martinez is able to close and beating Andre Rawls. Marius Obakop off the turnover on the second goal in the first half. Just 6 minutes later, he gets his team leading. 5th goal on this one. The young man out of Cameroon continues to shine for this New York Red Bulls 2 team. And in the second half, the Wilmington Hammerheads, they made a lot of attacking subs. Brian Ackley, the shot there off the Justin Moose assist. Santiago Castaño is able to step up. New York, not as many chances as you'd expect maybe on the counter with the substitutions Wilmington made. Speedy Williams continues to show his ability to shoot from distance, but could not find the mark there, and that one went wide. Leo Stoltz captaining this team to another victory as New York solidifies their 3rd place position. Last home game of the season next week here at Red Bull Arena, September 5th, 8:30 p.m. against the 2nd team in the East. For the first time ever, New York hosting Louisville City FC. For tickets and more info, log on to NewYorkRedBulls.com. Call 1-844-22-RBNY2. Thanks so much for joining us. That game, of course, will be broadcast here on NewYorkRedBulls.com. And for me, David Goss, and everyone part of our production, have a fantastic evening, and thanks so much for joining us.